or make you laugh, make you cry like Ain't Life Funny. Ugh.
First of all, welcome to week 22 of Ain't Life Funny. Aaron managed to escape Ice Cube's clutches. He had to just hide out for a week just to lay low because he's been talking all that shit.
Man, you already know that I'd be fucked Ice Cube up if he come around me, dog.
You just keep doubling down, dude. I just hope
This
that
is the
at some
thing,
point,
man.
some homie of Ice Cube's is gonna be like, "Yo, man, this motherfucker over here said he's gonna whoop your ass like 28 times."
This is the thing, man. I'm not saying that I want to fight Ice Cube, okay?
You're
I'm just saying
you
that if I were to fight Ice Cube, I'm gonna win. Like, it's not even a question of if. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like maybe.
Man, have you not seen me beat anybody? Bro, you must not have seen me beat nobody ass in a while. That must be what it is. You must have forgot, dog. You must have forgot. See, I'll tell y'all a story. I tell y'all a story. Back in the day, me and Matt used to play basketball, right? And we used to play one-on-one basketball, like, all the time. And, like, I was wrong for this. I will admit, I was wrong. Yeah, like, we were not really good, you know what I'm saying? And I was definitely wrong for doing this, but these people were also wrong. We all know on the basketball court, there's, like, rules to the game. If people are on the court, you know what I'm saying, you'd be like, hey, y'all trying to play? Everybody told us no. We went up to like 4 different groups of kids all playing different hoops and was like, y'all trying to play ball, get a game started. Everybody said no. I guess they were waiting for somebody.
They knew they were scared, dude. They were fucking scared. They could tell.
I mean,
they could
probably,
see the killer instinct.
Probably, because legitimately, we would have shitted on all of them people in the game. But they were all looking like they didn't want to play. So we was like, all right, cool. So me and him go to the main court, play one-on-one. We in like, the game is intense because me and Matt, our games was either somebody was going to win by 10 or somebody was going to win by 1. There was never no in between. It was either one of us got our ass waxed or it was going to be a gladiator battle for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Reindeer! Sandy, come on! Sandy! Chocolate! Sandy! Raindrops! Old school! T!
So like,
in the heat,
game is like
dude.
6 to 7. Yeah, it's like 6 to 7. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Yeah, like just straight up, dirty, throwing bows, all that, banging. Like we really in it. And like these kids come over and say, "Hey, y'all got to get off the court." And we look at them and say, "Man, we ain't going nowhere. What y'all talking about?" So we keep playing. Then they try to kick us off the court again. So then I go up and I tell the guys, I say, look, man, I asked every one of y'all out here that y'all want to play basketball, and all y'all told us no. So none of y'all were using the court, so it's our court now. Y'all got to wait. So 11 people then tried to, kick us off the court, and they said, as I say this, I shot the ball and bricked because I was tired.
I forgot that.
Yeah, and the guy says, well, we could shoot for the court. And I turned around and said, yeah, we could fight for it too. So what's up?
Yeah.
And then everybody looked at me and said, that black guy is crazy as hell. And 11 people then got their ass bitched up by me. So if I can bitch up 11 people, man.
I mean, that's true though. That was, and these were not like, that court could have.
These were all our age.
Sometimes, they was like old men, but that was not the case. Yeah, I was scared. Like
these were all like
Jesus.
These were all like people from the ages of 17 to 30 that could have beat our ass, like if they wanted to. Like, we could have got jumped and got fucked up, but none of them even stepped to us. And then they all sat there and quietly waited until we finished our grudge match, which was blood and bones, another 30 minutes of us.
They had to watch some like 20 to 30 minutes of some of the worst fundamental basketball that you will ever watch in the history of the world. But I respect that. You definitely did that. You called somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you did what most people should do, which is know that most people will not fight or step up. You question that and bitch down those people, but that's a dicey game to play. Like, especially in LA.
At the same time, I would have fought all 11 of them. Man.
Yeah, I know.
I would have fought all 11 of them.
That's what I was like in my head when you did it. I was like, he's going to fight these fucking people. He's going to do it. I remember
that was also
Florida
me
one
at the
time
age
when
of
we were outside of fucking TDs and like I was trying to get some strange, just talk to some lady outside, and all of a sudden I would see Aaron just run by, and then I hear whap 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 whap.
Well, those guys legitimately were picking on somebody that we went to school with, but that guy also was starting some shit. So
I was about to say that guy was a coach.
I'm not. Yeah, that guy, come to find out, was actually trying to get into a fight with those guys, which I didn't understand at the time. But they were taking our friend's glasses off of his face, like, and literally like almost about to poke their finger into his eye, while 3 guys were inches from his face. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do in that instance. I had some drinks. So I just laid 2 guys flat real quick. And then once again, I also bitched up 20 more people. Because if you remember, the 3rd guy ran and got his homies out the bar. And the owner of the bar was kicking us out to our car. And I told all 11 of them that I would fuck them up. Or however many guys came out that bar. And none of them stepped to us again. So once again, I pulled this move off. I'm not saying Ice Cube wouldn't step to me. I'm just saying that if Ice Cube wanted one-on-one, dog, I'm not afraid to step to Ice Cube, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I mean,
I just feel like you are disrespectful. Because I think you think Ice Cube might could beat me up. Like, that's why I keep saying that. I think you think Ice Cube
honestly, I feel like, you know what, Aaron? You're probably right. You got age. I'm sure you're more athletic than Ice Cube, so you're probably taller.
And I don't have no money.
Cube. Yeah, there's.
I'm taller than Ice Cube. And I don't have any money. I have nothing to lose.
I like that.
Like, that's what you don't realize.
Like, and I'm broke. And I don't give a fuck.
Would you fight a homeless man? If a homeless man stepped to you and
Hell
balled his
no.
fist up, exactly. You're not going to fight a homeless man. So that's what the equivalent of Ice Cube is to me. Like, Ice Cube, I'm not fighting this broke motherfucker. Like, I got money. I don't need to fight you.
This leads to a great question. In this day, like right now, as we are now, what would it take? Because I mentioned this weapon in the past, that fish bat. So let's just say you have one.
Oh, God.
What in the hell? Like, because I was even thinking of this the other day.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I could ever use it. I don't know if I could ever actually.
Matt, that's why I gave it to you. That's why I gave it to you, Matt. Because, like, I'll tell you another story, right? And, like, this leads to a topic for today, too. But one time I was in Orlando, later on down the road when we had graduated school and stuff, and this guys that I was shooting videos with, I didn't really know them that well. We're walking down the street, and this other group of guys, I guess we were walking too slow for them, just pushes their way through us like they're hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously trying to start some shit and, like, bumped some people. And one of the guys that's with us says, man, there's a lot of faggots in Orlando, I'm sorry. And when he says that, the guy that bumped into him turns around and says, what you say? He said, I said you're a fag. You're a fucking faggoty, faggot. And then the guy, like, straight up says this to this dude. And, like, I hadn't been drinking that night. Like, I had been shooting videos. You know what I'm saying? All these other guys were a little bit.
So this, okay, set the scene, though. This wasn't, like, broad daylight. This was at night. You guys were, like, doing
downtown Orlando at the corner, like, in the middle of, like, where all the shit is happening. You know what I'm saying? Basically, right?
Downtown
so, like,
Orlando is basically
a terrible place.
Working.
Yeah, and these guys... Like, legitimately, these guys were out of hand because, like, if somebody is in your way, you could have said, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have to do what they did. So I understand why the guy kind of popped off on them for saying that. But at the same time, our boy didn't have to, like, that we were with, didn't have to call him the F word, like, 20 times, bro. Yeah. But what they do, to their credit, I guess they must have had other people with them, or they just was feeling swole that night or whatever. They disappeared. And we were actually waiting for another guy with us to come out the club. So we were, like, standing on that corner, just shooting the shit. And there was, like, other people with us that, like, once again, this group of people that was with us did not know these guys that well. Like, we were all just kind of like light acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? So we're just out there kind of just like lightly chatting. And then these guys come back from 3 different angles. One comes from one side, one comes from another, one comes from another. And for whatever reason, there's some white boy shit because these were white dudes. I don't know why y'all.
I could smell it just in the story. I was like, this doesn't sound like anything but pure whiteness right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Hey, this is Josh. If anybody knows Cam, tell him his bitch ass has got something coming for him. Because I'm not gonna motherfucking fuck with his damn bullshit. If anybody knows Cam, you better send him a message. Tell him that Josh said he's got something coming for him and he's got something waiting on him. So tell him to bring his bitch ass on, motherfucking money stealing bitch.
They left, and whatever their tactic was to attack us was to come back and try to be friends with us. So he comes back and he tries to shake the guy's hand that called him a fag, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And he puts his hands out, and like they were all kind of drunk, not really like seeing who it was. And like I had my camera, And I started recognizing who it was at the time. So I was like, oh shit, like that's them dudes that came back. So the guy that comes up to me and is like, that's a nice camera. And I backed away and I had like this little piece of metal that you could attach to the bottom of the camera and put a light on it. And I had it in my back pocket. So I pulled it out of my back pocket and said, hey man, y'all better leave us the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't for that shit. And cause like they were trying like they're gonna try to break my camera or steal it or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I spent bad money to get that shit.
Yeah.
So and on top of everything else, I said, I don't know. Right. And as I said, especially at this time, I don't know a lot of these guys very well at all. So like these guys all of a sudden start trying to fight us. Because what happens is when he goes to shake his hand, the guy looks up and he, out of his drunken state, says, oh, you're that faggot from earlier.
Oh, he doubled down on it.
Yeah. So they all get the brawling, right? And I didn't realize that the guy that said the F word or whatever gets put in a headlock and like got slammed because a dude behind him too. But one of the dudes started attacking me, trying to get at my camera and stuff. And I had that metal in my hand. And I just feel so bad for this because, like I said, I did not know this guy as well. I didn't want to fight anybody, but I had to defend myself as well. Like they were attacking me. You know what I'm saying? So I got the piece of metal and I just started clanking this kid in the head. And I think he thought it was my fist. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to still like fight me. You know, white boys be wrestling when I'm throwing hands, dog. Like I only got one hand. I'm holding my camera like this, and I got this piece of metal. So he's like trying to grab my waist. I'm just going clink, 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 just tacking him on the back of his head, like yo, kid, like you're losing. You know what I'm saying? So I think he kind of gets concussed and he like falls away. And when he does, he like backs up against the wall and he's like kind of linked over. So I ran up to him and kneed him in the side of his head against the wall. Yeah, I mean, I fucking banged this kid, dude. But when I lifted my leg up, he scooped me and tackled me to the ground. So like I land on my back with my camera like this, and now he's like trying to crawl up my body and I guess ground and pound me. But while he's doing that, his head is literally like right at waist level to just, so I'm just clink, clink, still just tagging his ass. And finally, I'm like, I guess this motherfucker doesn't realize like that I can kill him. So I was like, let me just give him like, because I'm not really hitting him with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of like,
come on.
Yeah. Like, come on, kid. Like, you don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? So like, I take the end of the metal and I go pow and like poke him in his skull with it like hard one time. You know what I'm saying? So he actually like felt that it wasn't a fist. And then he like was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So then he lets me up. And he gets up and like I see the other guy that was saying the F word is like now somehow his skull is like bleeding across his head, but he's somehow got the upper hand in this fight and is literally bending this kid's back in the air. So I reached down and like tried to, you know, like pushed him apart. And when I did, the guy that I was wrestling pushed me in the back and it's like, no, man, get out of here. Y'all won. Like, I've never been in a fight that somebody lost so single-handedly that he told me to leave.
Get out, man.
Yeah.
You did
He threw in his own towel. He threw in his own towel, dude. And he was like, y'all won. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm leaving. And what I found out later was that one of our buddies was like this big like guy like your size, probably like 6'5". He saw all of this from afar. So when they attacked us, he came up at the end and just started cold cocking dudes. And that's how the other guy got the upper hand on that kid. Yeah. So he kind of like, he laid out like 2 or 3 dudes and like other people in that crowd were also fighting against us, but were hiding in the crowd apparently. Cause he said that like somebody was like, oh, that's some bitch shit. You came out of nowhere. And it's like, man, y'all trying to jump us and shit. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all throwing hands. So like, it was just like a fucked up situation, but
and
somehow
in Orlando, of course there's people it's like, man, fuck all that.
So many people, dude, but somehow magically no cops show up. We walk away scot-free, bumps and bruises or whatever, but nobody's really hurt, you know what I'm saying, luckily. And we all get out of there safely. So then I say all that to say the reason why I could never use that fish bat is I had that weapon in that fight. You know what I'm saying? And like I felt so bad using it against this kid because I'm like, bro, first off, you didn't bump me. Like y'all weren't crazy enough to bump into me. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all pulled that shit with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they didn't think I was with them, I guess, at first. And then also, I had no beef at that point. Like, I don't know these guys that good. I don't know y'all. Y'all out here tripping. They out here tripping.
That's what I always hated. When you were just like in a huge group in college, and then there's like a couple of guys show up that you've never met before. And of course, they're the ones that are like saying that kind of shit. And you're out with them. It's like, hey guys, like you want to have like a sign that says, I do not personally know these. I have no stake in this game. This
Right.
is
I just
not
am
me.
I'll film this. I am a
I'm
conscientious
here.
observer. Right.
I
Like
guess
I'm not
I'm
doing
in this
shit.
group, but these two guys, I don't know these
Right.
guys. These guys are fun.
Y'all had the faggot fight. Y'all should be the
Yeah.
ones that fight. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to square
That
this
was
up, y'all
fucked
too.
up. He should get something up
You
for
shouldn't
that.
be saying
But
that.
ain't me.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Right. You shouldn't be bumping into people and you shouldn't be saying faggot. I agree with all that. But once again, like I said, I had nothing to do with any of this. But I say all that because that fish bat, I bought that because I was doing Uber in LA and I was like, man, people be out here bugging. I just want to have something to defend myself. And one day somebody kicked my car, which I didn't realize the light had changed and they was trying to cross out in the street. It wasn't really that close. He had to kind of reach to even kick my car. I looked in the rearview mirror. He almost like fell over, but I had a quick little flash in my mind of, I should go back there and beat that dude's ass. And then I just take the fish bat up from under the seat and I like tapped it in my hand one time while I was parked. And I said, man, you'll kill that motherfucker with this, bro.
I don't
do that.
Anything you do with that thing, if you actually put full force into that in any part of the body, you can potentially
it's gonna break
cause
it.
a
It's gonna break anything.
like if you hit somebody in the leg with that, the femur could
Shattered.
shatter, and then that could go into their artery, and then you've killed them.
It will. If you hit them in the head, their skull is broken. If you hit them in the nose, their face is caved in. Like, the only time I would ever use the fish bat is if it was literally like zombie apocalypse, life or death, somebody breaking in your house and you're hiding behind the door and they got a gun and you clock them just in time to save the day type of shit. But like, legitimately, even in that scenario, you need to just have a fucking gun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a concealed carry permit. But honestly, I think the fish bat would do more damage than a gun if depending on where you're hitting all that.
If you hit somebody in the head with that full force, it's over. They're dead. It's like hitting somebody with a full axe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can get shot in the head and potentially survive depending on how the bullet goes in and out and all of that. And I'm not saying you would, but like that fish bat is gonna cave your brain inside out, bro. Like, you're done.
Although I will say something that I remember, this is just like the injury. So imagine if you hit somebody like right here in the center of their forehead with that. It would probably cause like a dent, right? You think in the UFC or in a MMA league of some kind, like maybe 3 years ago, some guy like went to sprawl on somebody and a dude kneed him in the forehead and they had to stop the fight because they caved the front of his head in. Like, he literally had a crater in his head. So you could survive that, but I don't know. If you hit somebody with a fish bat cleaning, I think it would just...
I'm saying if you follow through, bro, like if you like full all the way, no, home run Ken Griffey that bitch, like you ain't coming back from that shit, dog. If it hits your fingertips gonna fly the fuck off, dog. Like that's that's what I'm telling you, bro. Like, you gonna be in pain, man. Like, it's not some shit that you play around with. So that's why I gave it to you, because I realized I had too much power and not enough responsibility. So I was like, Matt, you can have this. And you told stories too where the same thing. You was like, riding your bike and was like, man, I might need to swing this fish bat one day.
Well, I didn't even have it then, if you remember. I had that big, because I worked in that warehouse. I found like a big piece of, it was just like a steel bar that was just about this, like, it was like something that would be in an IKEA furniture thing, but it was solid. And I would just put that in my backpack. And I mean, dude, I remember this clearly. And at the time, I was so mentally like drained that I didn't really register it as like dangerous or that I had been in a potentially life-threatening situation. But I ran, I used to run home from work all the time down Woodley to Victory and to our place. And one time I was running down Woodley, just jogging, and it was probably like, I'd usually get off at like, I think 5:30 or 5, and it was probably like 6 p.m. So it was kind of getting dark at the time. And I was running on the sidewalk, and I ran, and I kind of like had to stop. Like, I just got tired, so, I'd walk a little bit, and I was stopped, and I was like right, kind of like near a guy in front of me. And I get closer, and then, like, I get right up on the guy. Like, he slowed down, and I just had my earbuds in. I was tired. I was running. I wasn't really registering it. And then he, like, stops. So I was just like, oh, he must have his phone or something. But then I get, like, right up next to him. I come up from, behind him on the thing and walk up next to him. And I look over, and he said something to me. I was like, what? Like, what? And I pulled my earbud out. and he's like, I'm kind of get a better look at him in the face, and he's like pissed, and he's like, yo man, you need to watch where the fuck you walk. And I was like, what? And he pulled out a knife, just like sat there and looked at me and was like grilling me, but he had just like a knife in his hand that he pulled out of like his fucking pants or something. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, dude, I'm sorry if I bumped into you or something. I didn't, but I didn't know what to say. And I was jogging. So all I did was like turn around and start jogging again. And I kept looking over to see if he was like chasing me, but he wasn't. But I mean, the guy literally was like 2-3 feet away from me.
We know you're not gonna fight Ice Cube then.
No, hell no. I'm gonna run. Like I'm gonna Ice Cube. I mean, fuck it. But like that situation, it's like if I had that. Even then, though, I had that thing in my backpack, but you don't have enough time to pull that shit out. It's like if that guy came at me, I'd be dead. You know, he would have stabbed me.
Well, it's funny, man, because I used to walk in dangerous places in Atlanta too, going to work and stuff when I worked for that train system. Same thing, man. Like it was like fucking, dope fiends and stuff would be around at night and all of that, man. You just had to always kind of watch your back. So I've kind of always had that mentality of just, having protection for yourself if nothing else. But man, I'm trying to tell you, bro, LA will just wear down on you anyways. Like that guy that you was walking by, man, might have just been having a shitty day. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably wasn't even like really mad, you know what I'm saying, at you. He just was like, man, if one more person get in my space today, man, I'm just gonna snap, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I've been there in LA, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been in LA where it's like, if one more person get too close to me, or if I smell one more person breath, or if one more person be up on me, like I'm just gonna flip. Cause I almost fought a dude at 7-Eleven in LA for the same shit, like just being too close to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that dude probably just mad because he just was in LA. Like he probably wasn't even really mad about you. But
I mean, honestly, I could definitely see that. He was in Van Nuys on Woodley Avenue walking in the heat at night. I was pissed too, but it was just like, dude, I remember one time also, this is another thing, like riding a bike in LA when that I don't remember what happened, but like when the pedals, I was too big for that fucking bike.
Yeah.
So it would always break down and shit. I didn't realize that, like, because when I was a kid, you just got a mountain bike. It wasn't like somebody told you, like, oh, there's like this, and this. So you let me borrow that bike. I had to fix it like every fucking 2 weeks or whatever. It was fucking more expensive than a car. But and this is just about like being in LA and just being over it, like mentally so like pissed and drained that you just don't register anything anymore. I was going to the gym on your bike, riding down that when you were on Van Nuys Boulevard, right before you went under that train, so that like downgrade. Yeah. The pedal snapped. And I fell off of like onto the front of the bike, and it keeps rolling, and then I just eat it into the ground. Oh. I'm pissed because at that point the bike had broken like 50,000 times. So here's another one that happened. This lady comes up behind me, and this is how fucking, like you said, you can just be pissed off. She's like, are you okay? Like, so she was asking me if I was okay, but it was like, I don't know if I said this. I feel like I did, but I was like, bitch, I'm not okay. And then I just like picked the bike up, picked the shattered pieces of the bike up, and just like started jogging with the bike. Somewhat out of embarrassment, but I was just like, I'm gonna like kill this bitch because of this. And I just like, I'm not fucking gay. But it was just like, so at that point we were so deep into like the end of that era.
It's great that we oh hell yeah, but it's great that we bring up these fight stories, because I saw a great topic to bring up today, which is that apparently the other day Candace Owens and Cardi B got into a Twitter beef that the world just can't seem to get enough of. And it's just funny when like there's a beef between people that shouldn't be a beef. It's almost like I was thinking about this the other day too. Like I know mad songs that I don't know songs. So like I used to work in a restaurant and like I know mad like white people songs that pop up in my head, but I don't know the song actually. You know what I'm saying? So like for example, like you know that song, it's like I've been dreaming now, take me, like that little techno song, you know what I'm saying? Like when the lights start coming, I don't know what that song is. I don't know what that fucking saying.
I don't
no
know what
idea.
song that is.
Yeah. Like somebody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. It's like some type of song where it's like literally like this chick is singing and it just gets all crazy and shit. And I know how that song sounds, like if I were to hear it, but I have no idea who sings the song, what it's about, what it's talking about. I've just heard the fucking song. So like that's kind of what this argument was with Cardi B and Candace Owens, because it was like Cardi B has no political information really, but she has mad people that like her. So like she was trying to make points and sound smart, and then it's like on the flip side, Candace Owens is just like hitting her in the head with like information, but at the same time, like Candace Owens is like a dumb bitch too. So, and I hate calling a black woman a dumb bitch, but I mean, if you're sitting there supporting Trump in any form, really, I can't really ride with you neither. So, like, it just was just amazing to me to see that, like, of all the two people, it's like the most unlikely battle. You know what I'm saying? It was like if a fifth grader were to fight a bull. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like the funniest thing you ever seen in your life. It was just amazing, bro. But yeah, man, you know, confrontation, man. Like, I don't know what's wrong with the world, bro. Like, you didn't see that? You didn't see Candace Owens just giving it to Cardi B and Cardi B trying to rebut in her non-informed ways?
I just think that I like, you know, I find Cardi B, like, she's hot, but I don't, when it's like a story where she's giving her opinion on something, I tend to just like flick past that. I don't need to hear that.
Yeah, I don't really think Cardi.
I get she's like, it's it's a fascinating story that she was just like a stripper. She came up with this personality and got famous, but as far as like what her opinion is, like she is just a stripper. So,
well, I mean, as far as anybody's opinion nowadays, I don't really have an opinion about anybody's opinion because I've listened to Trump talk for the last couple of days, bro. And I don't think that there's anything going on up there at this point, man. Like, the thing that keeps killing me is that he keeps going on live TV and saying the China virus. And it's like, oh, dude, Chinese people live in America, right? Like, what are you doing?
What's pissing me off is like he can't, like, there's like, we have laws. There's laws in place for certain things that when they happen, people should get put, like, they should be tried or whatever. So there was a guy who was covering him, like doing a biography or a book about him that just came out. Yeah. And he literally there's voice recordings of this guy saying that he knew about this shit before it started becoming publicized, and he was gonna play it down. He was gonna do this. So he sacrificed hundreds of thousands of lives, and to me, that's treason. Like, I put a post up. It's like, we have all the evidence. It's all there. They're playing it on the news, but for some reason, nobody's saying that word in association with it. Like, to me, that's treason. It's not like,
what's crazy about that is,
it's not like some sort of calculated thing. Like, his rationale was, well, I don't want people to panic.
Right.
That doesn't.
Well, the thing that's crazy with him, dude, is that he doesn't even seem to register that, like, his defense was stupid as fuck too. Like, because like, you could be brought up on treason charges for that shit. And his defense was, oh, that was months ago. Why didn't he just release the tapes when he had them? Like, what? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, straight up, that's a point too, though, where if that guy heard that, he should have been. He's a journalist. He should have said something. But at the same time, I'm not going to blame that guy as much as the president who did all of it. And is like, it's all there. All the evidence is there. I don't know if like you have to spin treason and explain it, but to me, if you got me in a room with a bunch of people that were like, "Can we try this guy?" I'd be like, here's the evidence. Here's a recording with his voice on it saying it. Here's a guy corroborating it who was talking on that same recording.
Right.
Everyone, it's not like everyone's dead involved with this. This isn't like Nixon tapes that came out
Right.
decades later. This is months ago when we should have been hearing all this shit. And this guy just instead decided to just, I'll play it down. I'll make sure people don't get worried about it.
But
Well, that's
to me, though,
if it's like you're talking about maybe a possible terrorist thing where it's like, not everyone needs to know that something may happen. So we're just going to just keep it low key until we get this taken care of. That was not the case. And I mean,
think about this, though, right? Is this really even hidden information, though? Because, like, from day one with coronavirus, we knew this shit was mad deadly anyways. The only person that was saying that it wasn't was Trump. So and he got the information that it was, and he, like you said, like in these recordings is agreeing that, yeah, it's dangerous, but I'm downplaying it. So, like, the whole dilemma was created by Trump to begin with, because had he just took the information in and they said, like, if somebody told you, like, hey, man, smoking cigarettes kills you, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. But, like, they put the warning on the pack, like, yo, these shits kill you. So when you die from them, it's not their fault. You see what I'm saying? So, like, only way that would not be the case is if the cigarette company was like, smoking these might kill you, man, but just smoke them anyways. And that's kind of what Trump was doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, coronavirus might fuck you up, but just go to work and do your shit, live your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't wear your mask. And it's like, he really created this own problem amongst himself, because it wasn't like this was information that we didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of why I think maybe he's got a loophole in it, but, like,
but
to
still,
me, like,
it's
not a mystery, you know what I'm saying?
Like, I think we all knew he was, like, sort of downplaying it, but
right.
To me, where it becomes more insidious is it's this guy. I guess maybe it was always this way, but when you hear the guy saying, I'm purposely doing this, and then that, if it's everyone in the staff and it's like a mandate from everyone involved is like, we got to downplay this so people don't panic. Well, then that's shitty. But that's because all the dumbasses are making these dumbass decisions. But it seems like he's admitting that he himself, which he can have a speech ready, but he can say whatever he wants once he gets up on that stage. He can obviously just go up there and free ball it and just be like, say, just do whatever, improv his answers. And he knew his only motivation at the beginning of this was to downplay it politically and make people, I guess, not worry when they were already worried as a motherfucker and just should have been given the truth. So I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's not really new evidence, but having a tape of him actually saying and
that's what he was doing,
knowing the date too, where it's like, dude, we were here, and if you would have just been more honest, maybe we wouldn't have gone as far into this and shit. It's. I mean,
to me though, like, I kind of feel like all that shit is kind of, hindsight anyways. But part of the problem too is that the way that he's run his office is that if you don't ride with him, you're going to get fired anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all the people that were working with him probably just trying to keep their job. And also, people don't realize that with Obama, man, like, the protections for the whistleblower went out the window, like with Eric Snowden and like that WikiLeaks shit. You know what I'm saying? They tried to prosecute those guys for telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're on Trump's staff and he's giving you the mandate to downplay the virus, and then you don't, then they just all point the finger at you, like, oh, he's a liar. You know what I'm saying? And then you lose your job and get ostracized because you're trying to tell the truth. But really, what people don't understand is, as the whistleblower is supposed to be, that you're supposed to tell the truth, because if you don't, and like, let's say like your boss is like, hey, go out there, we're going to start, cutting money off the back end, you know what I'm saying? And like, your boss knows, so like you're stealing. So like corporate finds out, both y'all are going to go to jail because you didn't tell on your boss. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's kind of like where the issue is there. But because Obama, like I said, went after WikiLeaks and Snowden and all that shit, and it really wasn't him. It was kind of like the Department of Justice, like, even though it was kind of through him. But like, because they did that now, as a whistleblower, you really don't have any safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really know what to do. Like, do you tell the truth? Do you ride with it? Like, you just work in self-interest. And that's kind of what's scary about nowadays, because that's kind of how we're all living. Like, we're all kind of operating in self-interest, where it's like, well, I'm going to just look out for me and get my money and shit. But it's like, yeah, but if you're getting your money and doing this, but it's hurting that guy over there, and he's like living in shit, is that the right thing to do morally and like ethically? No, right? And like, it's making the world worse in the end, right? So why don't we stop doing that? You know what I mean? But you know, we talked about this before, bro. They got fucking kids digging mines in Africa as we speak, barehanded. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit is what it is.
I mean, it's crazy. Even like past shit that you just should have known about, and people like do. It's like public knowledge, but it just doesn't move the needle. You know, it's like I was watching.
It's like oh, go ahead, say my bad, bro.
I'm watching a couple new shows that I've started watching that I like. One is that Lovecraft Country show. I think that's a dope show. But there also is another HBO show based off of that Watchmen comic. Have you watched that?
Is that Dance Raised by Wolves or whatever thing?
No, it's called Watchmen. It's
oh yeah. I seen that. Yeah, I seen Watchmen.
You saw them, but you saw the show.
Yeah, I seen the show. Yeah.
Well, you know how they show like that shit in Tulsa or whatever, like the black.
Yeah.
Dude, I went through all that education I went through. I never heard of that.
I didn't find out about that until after school that they did that. Like when I got out of school, because like that's where the Gap Band comes from. You know, the Gap Band made that song. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. Like it's because the street in Black Wall Street was called Gap Street, or it was like GAP or whatever. It was something like two streets made up, and they called that. So they made that song. You dropped the bomb on me because they really did do that shit. But I mean,
that's crazy, dude. But like, just like I feel like that to us, what's happening now. Hopefully, if the world still exists in like 100 years or 80 years or whatever, people are gonna look back and be like, "Wow, like that was some fuck shit." That was a.
I think that, bro, you don't want to hear my 80-year prediction, bro. 80 years from now, this shit gonna look like fucking Star Wars, bro. Where it's just like, I'm not saying our technology is gonna be that advanced, but if you see how like everybody was living in Star Wars, if you weren't down with the Empire, you were broke. You know what I'm saying? And struggling and
Message.
Like living in like a little crazy trade bizarre world where like people from all over are like, you know, trading slugs for gold and shit. Like that's what's going to fucking wind up happening here, bro. It's going to be like bullets and money are a form of currency. We're going to be out here fucking fighting each other and biting off motherfuckers' earlobes and shit, bro. Cause like, I don't really see how it's going to go in another enlightened way. Like all the enlightened minds of people that are saying they want to change and like Black Lives Matter and all these movements and shit, they're infiltrated, number one, by groups of money and power and organizations. And then number two, they don't have the willpower and the wherewithal to really stand up and fight against the hand of darkness like we would really need to. Because the only way that's just going to happen is both sides got to come together. Like that alt-right Trump, all them people that are saying they want the better America, the progressives and all the libertarians and all that want a better America, they got to come together for that cause. But their visions are so different, it'll never happen. And the reason why that is too is because we actually talked about this, and I just saw this on Netflix. They made a shit called The Social Dilemma. And it's talking about how the algorithms on Facebook and Twitter and all that work, where once you decide that you like things, they keep sending you more things, and how they interact with you and monitor your screen time and how much you're viewing it and the usage and shit. So like if you're not using it, they'll try to send you notifications to be like, hey, so-and-so liked your picture, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that to keep you engaged with it. And then how they use that information to sell it to companies. Because they were saying like on that like Facebook didn't really get hacked during the election. What it was that Russia used Facebook how it was supposed to be used, which was that they finance, you know, the groups that, you know, like alt-right groups and stuff, that if they saw information, like let's say like you were like a flat earther, then they would send you like Trump information. And if you were like a, you know, let's just say like women's rights or something like that, then they would send you like, you know, like abortion information and stuff like that to like separate the groups. So like you realize when like I go on Facebook, like I only see people that I get engaged with, you know what I'm saying? So like all my friends are, you know, certain mindset. So I only see that. But like, let's say that I know a bunch of Trump people. I won't see them, but they're still posting all that Trump shit, you know what I'm saying? And being like, oh yeah, you know, the earth flat and Trump's out here doing good for the people, and like it's like Fox News versus NBC, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The same thing, you know what I mean? And like because of those divides, people don't realize that like their entire like well-being, like they were even showing how like dopamine gets released when you get likes and responses and shit, and it's making people depressed and all this, like that literally like it's literally putting it where you think your world is shaped one way, and then these people live in the same world as you, and they think it's shaped the exact opposite way. And they just, you just be like, these people are idiots. These people are idiots. And it's like, that's why we'll never come together, bro. That's what's going to fuck us all.
Message.
It's crazy to think that technology is going to be what brings us all down in the end because we can't see past that shit. Because like me, I know my Facebook is fake. I don't put anything real on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I say random shit. And then like the reason how I know it is because I post so little on there that when I do engage with something, it instantly fires shit back at me. And I'm like, oh, there's the algorithm right there.
Yeah.
Like, I like the golf video and now I got 20 golf ads. And it's like, you don't even know I already bought all this golf shit. Like I have all my clubs, guys. I don't need to buy anything from you. You see what I'm saying? Like I just liked one video from this guy, you know what I'm saying? And now you're showing me 30 of them. You see what I'm saying? And then like same thing with anything, dude. Like I'll look up like a flat earth thing on YouTube and then like I'm looking up flat earth because I want to laugh at it, not because I believe in it. So, but then they send me 5 more flat earth videos, you know what I'm saying? Because I just be looking at all. I'll be looking at Trump shit too. Like I go on racist websites just to see what people be talking about, you know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, word. That's what you think, you know what I'm saying? But then they'll send you more of that shit and be like little ads in the side with fucking, you know, Confederate flags and shit. And you be like, motherfucker, I ain't buying that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you start, you know what I mean? When you start fucking with the algorithm, you realize what's going on. But a lot of people don't got the wherewithal to understand that
I don't
shit,
even
you know
think,
what I mean?
I was going to say, I think most people know that word algorithm and stuff, but they don't really understand what that means. I don't go on it. I put nice updates about my health because whoever, but I don't know who sees that shit. I just put it up. Every once in a while we'll put something up if we want to like publicize something, but as far as me being on Facebook just looking around, I don't do that unless I'm super bored.
Speaking of Facebook, man, where your dog at, man?
Dude, you want to know what's even crazier about that shit? We were doing
Where
it,
your
we're
dog
like,
at, bro?
dude, he's over here sleeping, bro.
Nah, man, wake his ass up. Nah, wake his ass up, Mason. Be like, hey, Mason, I need my money, dog. Run me my check, bro. What's up, man?
Dude,
Run me my check,
he ain't
Mason.
gonna pay you, bro.
Hey, man, I done already dropped like 30 bills on Mason trying to get this motherfucker in a beauty
Dude,
contest.
they keep going. It's gonna go for like I looked at the term like because we didn't know what it was. We're like, this has to be it. Like this has to be over. It's going on for another month, dude. I was like, fuck all this, dude. He has to win just from being cute at this point.
Too funny.
That's hilarious. But
we're talking about Matt's dog is entered in a beauty contest for all the people listening.
My son, my furry son is fucking god, dude. He's gonna be the next dog model. It's the next whatever the Gerber baby is for dogs. That's it. But no, I mean, I see that shit all the time. But I mean, another thing I've been getting into is just that I've seen these videos, but I never really knew who it was. But do you know the YouTube guy, All Gas, No Brakes? It's like a dude who's like a nerdy white guy, but he goes to all these insane events. Like he just went to Sturgis, like that biker event that just happened with COVID and shit. And he just interviews people. He doesn't fuck with them at all. He just is like going with it, and he'll ask them questions, and he'll even like sort of vibe with them. So they, you know, they'll just like act like themselves. But dude, this guy's like my new hero because he just goes into straight shit shows and interviews these people, and you just see the craziness that exists in the world. Like he went to Donald Trump Jr.'s like book signing in I think Birmingham, Alabama. And first of all, many fucking crazy people, but there was like this one chick who's sitting there who is black. So she kept saying things like, oh, I don't believe the races should mix. I don't think that should happen. So I think black people should date black people and white people should date white people. But he's like, but would you have sex with Donald Trump Jr.? You said you think he's a god. And she's like, he's the best. He's a god. He knows everything. He's going to save this country. Donald Trump Jr. Like she has his book and she's like all this shit. And so, like, this is the level of people he just goes to these things. He went to when they stormed Area 51, like any shit show thing. And it's just maybe like 7 minutes of people acting crazy and him just kind of being there like, so, you know, like he'll be talking to some Trump person and they're like, yeah, like Trump doing this. And he's the best. And he's like, so tell me what you think is the biggest lie in America right now. And he's like trying to kind of interview them as normal people. And you can just tell they're lunatics. So it just shows you like,
It's the algorithms, bro.
I mean, dude,
I'm
it
telling
is
you,
so
man. Like, them people
funny.
are so. I'm telling you, bro. Like, those people are so deep and lost in the shit that like they really believe that because the internet keeps showing them shit that they like, that it's right. Like, nobody said the information is right or wrong. It's just information, bro. Like, that's why, like, even me, like, we talk about that dude, Young Pharaoh and shit. And, like, if you were to listen to this podcast, you might think that I actually believe in that guy. I'm not really a follower of that motherfucker like that, bro, because he be saying Trump is a good guy. And it's like, bro, I
Yeah,
can't believe any man that's calling COVID-19 the China virus is a good person, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, that's just one small issue I have with him. But on top of the other things, too, it's just like, same thing. Like, if you like the Area 51 shit, they're just gonna keep feeding you what you want to see. So eventually, you're gonna think that it's a fucking alien down there, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that Pizzagate shit. Like, you know what's crazy about that? I actually have seen where that Pizzagate shop is, dude. And like that, you know, that guy went up in there with the gun and shit and like trying to free the kids. You heard about that, right? If you see where that place is, it's in like the whitest part of DC you've ever seen, dude. Like, there's no fucking way that they're doing what they're saying they're doing in that place. Like, I'm not saying that them people aren't sinister or whatever. Like, it might be some ties to some shit, whatever, but they not doing it there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not doing it there, bro. Like, there's no way. Like, too many people are in that place, all that. It's a wild thought to even, like, have in your mind to go all the way there with a gun and get arrested and risk your freedom on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I just
I don't get it,
remember
man.
being
Internet is crazy.
so deep into conspiracy theories in my like 20s, where we, you know, you and I used to watch conspiracy theory videos. Me and my buddies used to watch them shits. Like, to do that now and have what you're saying happen, where that's all you see. Like, I could turn it off because it was just like some DVD you got or some file you downloaded off the internet. It wasn't constantly being pounded on you. So, yeah, I mean, you can see that shit. And like I said, shout out to All Gas No Brakes, because that shit is one of the funniest, most. I mean, he might be the bravest journalist out there right now, because he goes into the depths of like he went to some beach party in the middle of Cove. Where was it at? Yeah, it was like a lake. It was someplace where it was like. It was in Michigan at a beach someplace in like one of the Great Lakes, and just kids everywhere, just drunk as piss, just doing crazy shit. And he just wades in, interviews them, you know, is like talking to them like they're normal people, and they're just out there like, we out here, y'all, like just complete shit shows.
Well, I mean, you know, they say reality is stranger than fiction, bro. I mean, like, I heard this story. Maybe this was bullshit. I don't know. This was on a YouTube video, but apparently the way they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, like, you heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Dead Sea Scrolls is like ancient books from the Bible that had been lost or whatever. Apparently the way they found these was that some kids were just like raising sheep out in the desert and throwing rocks around, and threw a rock into a cave, and it broke a 3,000-year-old clay pot, and they heard it shatter. They go into the cave and find the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like, that doesn't even sound like some real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like some Indiana Jones shit. Like, what, man? Like, somebody threw a rock and
wrote that in a
this magical
LA
shit.
office, dude. That's some LA shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, like, that's what they say, man. Reality is stranger than fiction, man. So, like, if you go out there and actually get amongst the people, because, like, that's the other thing, too, is you got to realize is, like, just because these people watch all that shit doesn't mean they're retaining this information. Like, I think that's what Trump's problem is like, his staff might update him on a lot of shit, but he hears it totally different than what they're saying. So, like, they're saying, Mr. President, you know, maybe hopefully in like 5 or 6 months we could figure out a vaccine. In his mind, he heard, in 2 months we about to have a vaccine. So then he goes out there and says that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with those people. Like, Donald Trump Jr. is a god, and I would never have sex with a white man, but so would you sleep with him? Maybe. So then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of this shit is connecting dots at this point, because I don't think a lot of people are really smart like that, or even want to be aware, dude. Like, that's one thing I noticed too, is like, I am kind of coming to this new phase in my life where I'm trying to just live like sober and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm realizing how much more focused you can be, and like how unrelenting you really have to be against the world, dude. Because like, one thing that I didn't understand about like smoking weed especially is that it kind of makes you acquiesce to whatever the norm that is set for you. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you were to trying to think like what's a good analogy for it. It's almost like you let things happen to you versus trying to make them happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you become, instead of being the operator, you're the one that's being operated on. But then like once I noticed me when I stopped smoking, like now it's like I feel the power to operate, if that makes any sense. Like it's almost like limitless potential is in my head. Things look more like opportunities now versus being the issue where it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that might have been some of my problems in LA, dude, is that like I feel like some of what I let happen to me in my life in the past was kind of just being like, well, I got this job here. I'll just make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to do this. Whereas now, like I got a job here and I'm going to make the best of it. But then I also am doing it with the outlook of advancement to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really have that focus in LA where it's like, I'm going to take this as a springboard to do that. And I was trying, but like financially, it's a little bit harder out there too. But still, like I just kind of see like the differences, and I just wonder if maybe that's a part of the problem in America too, man. Like maybe we're over like sedated mentally, pharmaceutically, psychologically, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because like I mean people be on shit, bro, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I mean, I think that shit does change your psyche in a way where things are happening to you versus you making things happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's wrong with everybody in America, honestly, bro, is that we kind of are expecting the government to pull us out of this shit when a lot of the problems that we have in America aren't really governmental issues. Like it's not a government issue of a white person hating a black person. That's an inside issue. A black person hating a white person or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A cop hating a black man or a black man hating a cop. Like that's internal shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's history and there's dilemmas and stuff that we need to go back and try to rehash and get things right. But at the same time, like, it's like we were talking about with like changing the rules and systematic racism shit. Like you can do all that, but you can't stop the individual. And that's what's really need to go on is like individually, we all got to look within ourselves and be like, damn, yo, like maybe my path was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I shouldn't have been doing that. You know what I mean? Like message with even these fight stories, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have to try to fight 11 dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that's wrong. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, on the flip side of that, I got to look back and be like, well, I did it and I learned from it that I shouldn't do it in the future. But at the same time, like, if I hadn't done it, what would happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have just walked off the court and then the bitches then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what's weird about life, bro. Like, it's so many endless possibilities and potentials. But I think that that's kind of why we need, like I was saying about the two sides need to come together, because we ain't gonna never see all the possibilities until both sides get to understanding each other. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the way, it's just hard to get out of that, but it's possible. I mean, I know personally, like things that I've done, like the weight loss thing. I remember when I thought that was impossible. Like I remember people telling me to do shit, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna, I'm not. Why? Because I'm just gonna be fat my whole life. I can't do anything about it. Like this is just how it is. And people get stuck in like that. That's just for that. But like that mentality is
everything though.
Everything.
That's everything.
And,
yeah.
I don't think a lot of people that are in our generation, especially, it's like have gone through shit and done shit like that, where they have that experience. Because I mean, I felt behind a lot of my peers for a lot of my life. But now that we're like, you said you're getting to a different stage of your life, like I beat cancer. So like that was my kind of point of getting back and like clean slate. And I've started to do what you're saying too. I mean, I'm pothead, bro. Like I haven't given that up, but I've found that my motivations have just intensified. So, like I never feel like I can rest anymore. I used to always be like, I'll do this so that when I'm done, I can go just chill.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I still have that in me. Like I still want to, get off of work and just go play Warzone and just chill for a minute. But most of the time I can't enjoy that. So I always feel like I need to be like checking emails or like doing something productive now. And I didn't have that before. And it's just, I think, a matter of you find success in something. Like you said, like you've seen this, like you've kind of gotten a little more clear. And once you start like finding out that you can push yourself, and instead of seeing like a barrier of, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to try. I've done it many times in the past few months. Like, you see something you don't know how to do, and instead of just not doing it, you go, well, how can I do it? And then you just try, and most of the time, just trying it, you figure it out, and you get it done, and you look way better than anyone. Like, in my job, I do those things, and I have the least experience, and I'm always the most prepared. I'm always the one that has the answers and the shit. And it's just like, you can get to, like, I never thought I'd be at this point. I didn't, just personally, even without getting cancer, I never thought I could like be doing what I'm doing now. And I've seen, it's crazy because now that I see that, it's like, there's so many instances in my life where I said, I can't do that. And then I did it. And you should just like, you can take that knowledge and keep applying it. And now I'm realizing that more clearly than I ever have. So, I might do that once in a while back in the day. I lost weight. Okay, great. But then I got stagnant. I gave up cigarettes. I did this. I, got in really good shape. We started doing things, but everything always just we did something, but then it like got stagnant. And now I'm realizing like, you just have to keep upping the ante. If you get to where you wanted to get, you have to then be like, oh, okay, well, now I need to do step, and then I go be here for that. You can't ever just be like, okay, cool. At least I can't. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Bro. I mean, that's I've been reading David Goggins' book, bro, which if anybody got a chance, dog, it's probably one of the best books you can read in your life, man. It's called You Can't Hurt Me. And that guy's story kind of, know, how he like went through a lot of stuff in his life. But one of the things in his thing, that's what he talks about, is the callousing of the mind, where you get to a point where all of the damages in your mind that you had, where you thought that they were things that limited you, like you said, like, I'm overweight, so why should I try to lose weight? You know what I'm saying? He's like, most people look at that as that's the explanation, but really that's the reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen this path already. You know the overweight path. You know it makes you unhappy. So break out of the comfort zone. Do something you don't like doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's part of the same thing with the algorithm debate, dude. Like, does a Trump guy ever go and look at what the Democratic Party's platform is to see if he agrees with any of those issues? Does the Democrat go and look at the Trump guy and right? I say same thing with the Democrat though. Does he look at the Trump guy and say, "Do I agree with any of these points?" Does he pull the filter down and say, "Maybe I should just open my mind to these things"? Because at first it is going to seem filtered and foreign to you, and like, "Oh, I don't like that." But then you start realizing, like, damn, they actually want the same thing I want for this, and that's not far off from what I want from that. So we could find a middle ground. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's what his book was saying, is that like it's through the hardening of yourself and like trying those things outside the box that actually makes you grow. And like, that's kind of why I was saying like the weed was holding me back, because I felt like weed just made you be in your box and be like, well, I know how things are. I got everything right here within arm's reach, so I'm good. But it's like, but you got to reach outside yourself sometimes to go get that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get up and say, hey, I need that though. You know what I'm saying? I have all this, but I need that. You see what I'm saying? And like, that's where I think Americans especially are fucking up.
Being where it doesn't give you any aspirations to do more when you're smoking pot. You're never like,
right.
You do, but it's not like you don't have any oomph behind it. You're not gonna do that shit. At least, and dude, I can agree with you on. We were right there together. Like, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I think that was probably a huge thing for me too. I'm saying that as somebody that still uses it a lot, but at the same time, I think that life circumstances kind of adjusted my way of thinking a little bit to where it's now more of just it's not a recreational thing as much. It's just more of, it really does help with some of my side effects with cancer, and I think that
right,
I could give it up. We're talking about moving potentially to places that don't have it. So I know it's like you're mad for maybe a day, and then you're just fine, and it really doesn't matter too much. So in terms of that, but I think in past times, you just, like everything, I mean, it just kind of helps you to get into that stagnant area where, it's easy to just go home, rip a blunt, and fucking watch some dumb shit. still guilty of that too. I do that, but I mean, right now that's kind of what else are you gonna do? But
well, here's
I
my
get what
thing
you're
though
saying.
too that terrifies me about it is that you know, it kind of makes you loosen your controls as well because like then because you're comfortable with it or whatever, like you now let someone else kind of pull your strings. You know what I'm saying? Because like you
Yeah,
said, like you're cool with it and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go home and chill. But like we're not really in an era right now that we should be chilling, bro. Like you gotta realize, man, like back in our parents' times when they were our age, bro, like they were like raising families, fucking going and getting real-time jobs and shit and like trying to like build a future for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like our generation kind of got blessed in that fact that like baby boomers kind of like had a safe net society to live in and put us into it so that way, like, you know, we like I brought up I never not had a Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what it's like to live without a Sega. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like some kids can't imagine the fact that like me and you are older than Google. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw
yeah.
that's a post on somebody's Facebook that said that. You know what I mean? So like there was a time where you know you would go to other sites to search shit, Ask Jeeves and shit. You know what
You
I'm
would
saying?
go
Like to
to
try
a
to figure out information.
library.
Right. Same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like you had dial up. You know what I'm saying? So like now look at this generation after us. It's like they literally have everything at their fingertips, bro. And then imagine if now you already have been placated to and you smoking weed and you're not in your right state of mind. Like where does the drive come from to be like, we got to advance this, dude? Because
Yeah,
like really, like people always talk about like the minimum wage hasn't increased over years and years. Have we as minimum wage workers increased our value to really get paid anymore? You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, dipping fries in the fryer is still the same fucking shit. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I think we should have more money, but at the same time, like where's your value increasing, dude? Like if you was a fry cook that could go into the register and fucking write a new code so that the shit ring up faster, and, hey, I'll give you a raise right now. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. You see what I'm saying? And like that's kind of where I think we're all fucking up. Like white, black, everybody, bro. Like I feel like the whole world as a whole is like letting the people that have put the comforts there keep putting them there. Because like look at TV, bro. Every commercial, at least 75% of them is about food and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So like
Or
what are they
mental
selling to you?
drugs, or mental health drugs.
Well, what's really funny about that is you probably need them drugs because you want the food and alcohol. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like it's shit in that food making you crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like literally that's what they're pushing down your throat 24/7. So like it's all comforts. Like it's not like anybody's on there being like with a commercial that's like, hey, get this new boot camp to get your ass in shape and get up off the couch and stop watching TV. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that in the commercial because they need you to watch TV to sell what they selling to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I think we've all trapped ourselves in the creature comforts of what American society is, and like the rest of the world envies us because we get to sit back and do that while they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like there's places where that's not a choice, dog. You sit on your ass all day, you ain't gonna have no water. You ain't gonna have no fucking rice or whatever the fuck you need for the winter time. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be out there starving, bro. And like that's kind of where, and I mean there's places where that's not the case too, but I think because that shit exists, it gives everybody a reason to want to act right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think right now our country is at a point where we really need to overturn all the tables, bro. Like, we need to be looking in all the dark corners. Cause like that whole shit that I be talking about with pedophiles and shit, that's a real fucking thing, dog. Kids is missing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, people are out there missing as we speak. Ain't nobody raising up the tables and being like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to get your kids back? You feel me? Like, you don't want to stop police violence. You don't want to stop brutality and, you know what I'm saying? Like, hatred and you struggling too. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the main thing we should all be mad about is all of us don't have enough money to live the way we want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the richest man still trying to get richer. Because he know the same shit. He know one day he could spend all that money on one thing and be broke, bruh. You know what I mean? The richest man can write a check for all his money and be broke. Be the brokest man. Like that's how the world works. And that's why I think that's what we all gotta start waking up and realizing, bro. It's like time, this ain't really the time to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's why I like that attitude you got. Where you're like, I can't sit still. I can't just sit on the computer and zone out no more, man. I gotta be doing something. I gotta be moving. Cause like that's what you need to be doing, dog. The second you stop moving and people that have retired, those will be the same motherfuckers dead in 2 years, bro.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like instantly. Like it's I can point, it's so many stories like that. Or like somebody's wife died and then they died the next day because it's like, well, I was only here for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have purpose, bro. And I think that's really what our generation struggles with a lot, is even finding purpose, wanting purpose, understanding purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and also
those
just
shits
like
is,
knowing
like,
who you are. Like, I think to have a purpose, you have to like be sort of
oh yeah,
introspective and like know who you are as a person. And that also is where I think pot can fuck you up, is that you sort of don't do any self-analysis because you don't want to think that maybe pot is a negative in your life. I know a lot of people that smoke a lot of pot and have made bad decisions based on that. Some of them, like me, have actually gotten out of it because of whatever reason. Me, it took some insane shit. But I know a lot of people that are just stagnant doing some shit that they could have been doing in college because they just want to
right.
be playing PlayStation or, you know, doing
Well,
whatever
also,
all day,
you don't
every
find
day.
also you don't find purpose without struggle, dog. That's something that people don't understand neither, man. Because really, it's not until the adversity hits you that you really got to ask yourself them questions. What type of man am I? You know what I'm saying? It's like we talking about the basketball games we had. Like, we laugh about us both being sorry, but really what that was that me and you both got the same type of heart where it's like, I'm just not gonna let you beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what was going on, was that it was just a battle of wills and two unskilled players, but like it was really just like, I ain't
Some
just gonna
coach
lose.
was
You know
like
what I'm
on
saying?
the fence, like, man, these guys got hard, but they got no skill. God
got
damn,
no
I
jump shot.
respect these
God damn.
motherfuckers, but god damn. That one white
'Cause
guy's
hell
been
yeah.
he sweated through his shirt 8 times. This motherfucker's about to
I mean,
pass out.
honestly, to my credit, man, I will say this: 1-on-1 ain't never been my game, dog. Like if we playing half court, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, I'll shit on somebody. But I ain't no 1-on-1 Kobe Bryant just gonna cross your ass and break
And
your
I'm
ankles and
bigger
go to
than
the
you. I'm
hole.
not significantly bigger than you, but I mean, like, for me, I am not. I can at least, like, I have length enough to maybe block some shots that a guy your size wouldn't block. So I have a
Well,
little bit
I
of an
feel like that's just a
advantage, but
credit to that was just a credit to my skill that I can hang with you. You know what I'm
that's what I'm
saying? Being a
saying.
smaller
Like,
person,
you actually
but
you're better, way better at basketball than me, but I have long
you
ass
just big.
arms. Yeah, I'm just big.
I give you that.
Put
I
my
mean,
ass
and you
in
hustle though, dog. Most big dudes don't hustle, bro. I give you credit, man, where credit is due. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like
just
you
like a
legit hustle,
rebounder,
man.
dude. That's my thing. I can rebound the ball.
You're
I just get the
Birdman.
ball.
You're
Exactly.
Birdman, bro.
Exactly. I'm Rodman. I got no shot. I will not do any sort of offense, but I'll give you 20 rebounds. I'll get that.
Hell yeah, dog. But yeah, I'm telling you, like when I'm actually in like a game, like playing against dudes my own size and shit, and like I can like play off ball. Like I'm good at basketball, bro. Like don't sleep on my skills. But like once again, though, that's what I was saying though. Like I think that's kind of what that's all based upon though. Is like even in sports, like that's kind of where one of the times that we really see like human triumph, like Rocky, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like David Goggins even talks about that in his book. He's like in the first Rocky movie, it wasn't about Rocky winning. Rocky just wanted to go to distance. You know what I'm saying? He just like nobody ever went to distance with Apollo Creed. And at the end, right before the last round, Rocky gets knocked down. And you remember when Apollo Creed think he won and he's just cheering and he looks back and Rocky stand up and he looked back and and he just looked down like, God damn, like I still gotta fight this man. And he showed Rocky love. Because at the end he was like, bruh, I ain't never seen nobody take an ass whooping like this and just wasn't going to let this shit end. You know what I'm saying? Because like Rocky Trainer didn't even want him in that movie, dog. Think about that shit. Rocky Trainer said, you a fucking bum. Get out of my house, dog. And told a nigga to quit. He told him to quit in the ring. He said, yo, stop fighting this dude. You gonna die. And Rocky was like, I got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And that's what your life really needs, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's really, I think, where you do understand what you made of and your triumphs. But like I said, our generation, bro, what is our thing that we're going up against? You know what I'm saying? Like, part of it is ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And part of it is deception. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing. Like, because like I said, like that whole algorithm thing, dude, like the truths are being hidden from you. And then like you can be willfully ignorant. You know what I'm saying? It's people that don't want to know the truth. Like it's people that I be telling shit like that Tulsa thing. I've told people that before and they be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to know nothing about that, man. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's too heavy, bro. I hate when people say shit like that. Me, I want to hear new information every time I can. That's why I be looking up shit like that, because I be like, damn, I ain't never heard this before. Like, I've never heard anybody say that. Let me hear what this guy has to say. I looked at 20 flat earth videos because I just wanted to see, would one flat earth person make a point? Just prove anything to me. None of them did. Like, I mean, but I got enough sense of wherewithal to be like, oh, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That
but some
flat
people are
earth
not
shit
smart
is
like
just,
that, bro.
that shows you what production value can do. If you can make a video that has any sort of production value to it, you can get some dumbass people to be like, yep, we're in a glass bubble, guys. There's ice walls.
Well,
I've seen it.
let me tell you
Like,
this story. I fucked this bitch head up one time in a physical therapy when I had my shoulder hurt, right? We were sitting there and they had the TV up in, and we're all like working out and stuff. And this woman is on the news talking about she got attacked by a shark at Malibu Beach or wherever the fuck this was in California, right? And I started laughing, and I was talking to the physical trainer. I was like, man, that bitch lying. And the lady heard me. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, she almost died. I was like, that lady did not fucking almost die. This woman was on TV talking about her shark bit her surfboard, right? She had her surfboard and she had the piece where the shark bit off from the surfboard in her hand. It was a perfectly symmetrical shaped, cut out,
yeah, it's like little
shape.
triangles and shit.
Little triangles, dog. Like if you were to make a shark bite image in your notebook, that's what it looked like. I was like, how she got the piece of the board, and she ain't hurt, and she on the news talking about all this shit. I was like, come on, man. I was like, if you almost got bit by a shark, you'd be in the hospital. You'd be terrified. She looked normal as hell. I was like, they paid that woman to say this shit. And she was like, damn, I guess you're right. I didn't even think about that. I was like, come on now. I was like, ain't no shark gonna bite this board. It's gonna be a perfect bite. She was like, damn, yo, you right. And I could tell that woman whole world was shooken from then on because she really think the news is real.
No.
Like, that shit is fake, dog. We were in news class in film school, bro. How did we come up with the story? We created it.
Yeah.
We made a story and shot it for the news. Come on. We know what this is.
That's just why I'm glad I don't have cable anymore. I just will watch some news clips online and then I understand, it's all just shitty negative stuff. The positive stuff, I can know where to find that too. So you have to know and do your due diligence on what you need to look for in news outlets. So I don't feel like it's like everything we're just discussing. Like nobody wants to go over to those other sites. They can't bend their brain enough to look from somebody else's perspective, at least, for even 5 minutes. So it is kind of fucking
check this out though.
Pissy.
You want to hit the conspiracy time button?
Hitting it. AintLifeFunnyPod presents Conspiracy Time.
So I'll go as deep as to say this. I think that it don't matter what side you on or what you're looking at. I think all that shit fake. Like legitimately, I don't think there's any more truth left in the world, dog. I think that they put so many layers of information in front of this shit. It was in the book 1984, bro. It would be so much information out there that no one would know what the truth is anymore. So I really think that even when they report on factual events, there's still a layer of deception placed behind that you'll never know. And I can prove it because think about this, right? Let's say you witnessed a shooting, right? And you saw somebody got shot on the corner. How are you going to say that to the news anchor? You ain't going to be up there and be like, oh, damn, that shit was crazy. You might, you know what I'm saying? But even that's you presenting your best self to the news.
That's how I want to do it.
But think about it though, you're gonna most people are going to filter their own selves. It's like on Facebook. You don't say, man, all y'all some motherfucking bitches on here because you mad one day. You know what I'm saying? You don't say what you really feel on Facebook because you understand people are gonna judge you by what you say and they're gonna rate you as well. Same thing with the news. You're gonna get rated by what you act like and say on there. So even when you're presenting factual information, it's through the filter of the presentation. You see what I'm saying? It's like if you were going to give a science project, you wouldn't just go up there and say, on trial 1, I got this number, trial 1, I got that number. You're going to present it in a way that it's entertaining, it's acceptable, it's more palatable. You see what I'm saying? And just even through that, I think that's enough to filter information so that the truth is never really the truth, dog. Unless you've seen it with your own damn eyes and touched it with your own hands. And even then, who's to say? There's people that'll tell you right now they didn't seen a ghost. I don't believe in that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they'll tell you plain as day, word for word, tell you a story, had a hair standing up on the back of your neck, and then I looked over the corner, bro, and believe every word of that shit. But do you still think it's a ghost in that? You know what I'm saying? I think that's really what the truth has happened to become, that the truth ain't really out there, bro. That it's just information, and now the truth gets watered down to a point to where we don't know what facts are, dog. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my deepest conspiracy right there. That you can't trust nothing that nobody say.
I'm gonna hit the double conspiracy button.
Conspiracy time.
And just say,
Hey man, don't believe me neither.
No, I mean, I agree with what you're saying for sure. I mean, that's in reality probably the sad, real truth is that what you're saying is the God honest truth. That there's no way to know what's truthful. But my double conspiracy is that this simulation theory is real, bro. That's it. There's too many things that are happening now that are so weird that it seems like whatever this algorithm is actually the reality algorithm, and it's like it's faulty now. Something has clipped off of it, and like you see these pictures of California where it looks like Blade Runner because there's fires everywhere and smoke and shit. There's that. Trump's the president. This shit. Cardi B is some sort of actual political pundit. Like everything's happening to where it's just deteriorating. So that's my thing. I think we are in a simulation, and it literally somebody just said, you know what, fuck all this. This is boring, and just said, I'm gonna Sim City this and just start hitting it with all of the craziest shit to see what happens.
You played Doom, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, like the video game Doom. So like, you know, when Doom came out, they had the mod updates where you could like change Doom. So you could like put your own weapons in the game and make it look like Batman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that is some truth to that maybe the simulation, wherever it is being run, because like, you know, if you want to go into some deep shit, I've heard people claim that, you know, human beings were once some ape-like figures and aliens came down and manipulated our DNA and shit. So now we somehow advanced. Because like they always say that there's a gap in civilization where we went from being hunter-gatherers to instantly like farming and agriculture, and like cities started popping up and they shouldn't have happened that fast. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Like that like we just developed too quick. Like our minds got too big so quick. And like some people think it was mushrooms. Some people think it was just better diets. You know what I'm saying? Like all types of different things that were supposed to happen. But let's say that really there is a simulation being run. That Earth is all just a big ass experiment. Like I think there's a movie where they say that like every other planet is just a planet of zebras or a planet of, you know, monkeys. And they took Earth and said, hey, we're just gonna put everything all on one planet and see what happens. Maybe this really is that simulation, dog. And somebody has just said, you know what? We about to blow this shit up in 20 years anyway. So let's just start pushing buttons like Doom and let's make this shit look like Robin Hood today. And tomorrow we're gonna make it look like fucking Cape Crusaders and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it makes more sense than what's really going on, dog.
There was a game called Sim City back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably still exists, but back in the day, it was very like in the same time as Doom. You'd create these little cities, roads, everything. But inevitably, no matter how good you were at this game and, you know, doing all of the shit, you could create these huge metropolises. You would hit the destruction button at one point and be like, I want to put a tornado here, fire, and you just start playing God and like destroying these cities. So to me, that like as a kid, I was like, oh, this is like, I even recognized that when I was young, like that compulsion to always do that, because my friend was really good at that game. He could make these things where I couldn't, but he would do the same shit. And I think that's what's happening, dude. I think literally somebody has been creating this thing, has gotten it to peak performance for whatever the game is they're playing, this weird sim world game. And now they got bored with it. And they're like, you know what? Pandemic, crazy leadership, you know, racial. It's like, name the thing.
Think about that wildfire, bro. Well, yo, think about that wildfire you were talking about. Bro. Realize that shit once again. Like I was saying, the truth's not really the truth, dog. That picture, you don't think it was Photoshop?
Oh, it was. I mean, but dude, I'll tell you though, we don't live.
That's always a possibility.
We don't live anywhere near those fires, like not at all. But dude, it is seriously. When you get in the afternoon, there's some weird days where it's like you're living in some sort of. It's almost green out. It's weird, dude. It's fucking
Yeah. Like I'm sure like it's really happening, but like I'm saying, like
that
when
was
they present
heavily
the images,
photoshopped. Yeah,
images are yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's to change, it's to make it even that much more of a thing. That's what I'm saying. Like if you were to see it in reality and be there, you might not feel about it the same way as if you were to see that image and be like, damn. It's almost like that I always forget the name of that place, but like that dude in China that stands up against the tank. You know what I'm saying? Like that image was so powerful to the world.
Yeah.
But like, right. But that man standing there at that moment, did that feel the same way to the viewer seeing it? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where like the whole interpretation thing comes from. You know what I'm saying? Because like it meant a lot. Or like even when like the monks light themselves on fire, like that guy ain't seeing that perspective. You know what I'm saying? He's not understanding the power that it's having on the viewer. You know what I mean? Or and like and you as the viewer don't understand the power it's having on you. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to understand that, bro. Like we were in the media field. You know what I'm saying? Like we still fuck with it. So like we understand, like what you said, bro. If you got good graphics and you could tell the story enough, people start thinking that shit is real, dog.
Plus, also, what's real fucked up is that the Photoshop thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the Photoshop thing, you can do that to a still image, but you can do that to a video too. You can make anything happen in a video you want if you have enough skill and enough computer power. So, just
well, we got enough computer power. Yeah, but no, like same thing though. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like people start really thinking that shit is real. Like when Walking Dead came out, they was like talking about what if a zombie apocalypse really happened. It's like, motherfucker, that shit ain't real. Goddamn it, people gonna start coming back to fucking life. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? But people really spent time out their days doing that shit. Or like, remember the crazy clowns from back in the day on the internet, where it was like, oh, we all gonna dress up like clowns and go scare them. And then they started getting their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like. That's why I love the name of this podcast, Ain't Life Funny, because like it really does show you, like we always bring that simulation shit up, but like it does show you how like because one thing is introduced into the system, how it runs its course. You know what I'm saying? Because like one motherfucker with a clown mask did that shit, and then 12 did it, and then another group of homies did it, another group said it, and then they all thought it was funny, and then they got their ass beat, and then some more people beat some more people ass, and now it's like. People out here worrying about assaults and shit. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like the pedophile shit, bro. Like that's why I keep bringing that shit up because I want somebody to really introduce that shit into the simulation and be like, yo, we need to find these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you touching nobody, kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you start that shit. You got to start planting seeds that wind up doing shit. I mean, if people don't want to talk about the Bible, but it got a lot of sense in it, bro. You reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going on. Even if you want to talk about simulation just from that standpoint, like we live in an earth that reproduces what it's given. So we out here putting out bullshit and cussing and hating on each other and all of that, cursing each other. That's what's going to happen is curses is going to grow from the earth. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, like people act like this earth ain't purified itself before. Dinosaurs used to live on this planet, dog.
Yeah.
Them shits, for whatever reason, ain't here no more. You know what I'm saying? And this whole shit got restarted, and now we are where we are. So same shit could happen again, bro. It could all be to the point where it's like, yo, the earth could just say, yo, man, they didn't put enough bad shit into me to where I just gotta fucking give birth to a fucking stillborn and try this shit over.
It could be fucking some big ass rock in space hits us, and you hear that shit all the time. That they don't publicize it, but you'll see a news story like gigantic asteroid nearly hits. You know, it's like, oh, I guess it didn't.
You know what's even more terrifying
that could
about
happen fucking any time, and it's over with.
I could tell you some shit. That's really terrifying about that, bro. They can't even see half the shit going by us.
No, they can't.
Like,
they don't even know what's
like,
coming.
Yeah, bro. Like, if you want to talk about like the way that Earth really works in the solar system and the galaxy and shit, like we're so insignificant and small. It's such a miracle that we've been alive for as long as we have, bro. Because like all it takes is literally like that one thing, like you said, bro. It don't even gotta be of a big ass rock. It could be that the sun could just have a big ass fucking solar flare one day and turn off all the EMP pulse could hit the earth and turn off all our electronics, dog. What happens when all the computers are gone? This shit gonna be donezo, bruh. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Our hospitals don't work no more. Everybody fucking done, bruh. Like it ain't even like for example, people talk about global warming and shit. Global warming is a small part of it. The Earth's magnetic field is dying, son. So like our magnetic field is part of what keeps the sun's rays from burning the Earth up. Like you see how Mars doesn't have no fucking core anymore. Like Mars core cooled off. Like Mars used to have like life on it and shit, dog. But what happened was that because it's in the right zone where life could grow. But what happened was that it was too far from the sun and it didn't have enough heat inside its core to keep its magnetic field going. So its magnetic field died down. Mars still has an atmosphere, a very light atmosphere. So like technically, like it does have a bubble around it. But Earth is so much bigger because we have the core and we have the Earth, you know, the global warming and all that and the plants and shit. But the second any of that shit stops, bro, we're gone, dog. If the Earth moves even, I think, 10 feet in the wrong direction out of its orbit, we're gone. Like, we don't understand how blessed we are. That's why we out here fighting about bullshit, like hating each other when it's like, man, we need to be trying to figure out some real shit. Like, how do we keep this planet from blowing the fuck up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people don't even want to talk about that shit. That's a reality, though. That's more real than any of the shit we talking about. Simulation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
Fucking
I hate that we got to always hit
God
this heavy
damn,
shit.
man. You were gone 1 week and you just threw the most. We went double conspiracy and then you ended on. But here, we got to stop here. Let's get on a more positive.
For sure. For sure.
First of all,
you got a funny video or something?
No, I don't got a funny video. We don't got much time left. But first of all, I totally agree with everything you're saying. And I think that we actually just had a dumb, smart discussion just now. So people
like
pay attention to that. Pay attention to all that.
Like always.
But we're going to go to something positive. We're not going to go into the game last night. But the NFL season has started, Aaron. So we have a podcast now.
Yes.
And the NFL is actually going. So it's on. We saw. One game, Kansas City is a god again. They got some fucking running back, killed everyone, so they got another weapon. So fuck you, Kansas City, very much. So I'm not gonna get into Mahomes and all the money and all the success.
I feel like Steelers. I want to see what Steelers looking like, bro. I feel like y'all might be.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. We're not gonna come to you every week and talk about every game every week. Aaron's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Steelers fan. We're going to talk about our two teams, and we're going to talk about our games each week if we feel like we want to. Probably for me, my team's probably going to lose a lot. I'm a salty fan. Might not want to talk about it because it hurts too much. But right now, Aaron, beginning of the season, your team plays on Sunday night. My team plays on Monday night. I did this last year. I did this last year. First of all, okay, so you're saying you're going to lose this week. You're playing the –
Yes.
Who are you playing?
The Rams. The Rams at home. Cowboys about to take a super L, dog.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I agree with that, but –
Aaron Donald's about to have a field day on our ass, bro.
So Aaron
we'll see.
saying loss. I think you guys are going to win.
Yes.
So I'm going against you on the Cowboys. I think I got faith in the Cowboys. I think they're going to win. Shout out Dak Prescott. You got a new coach. You got to be happy about some of these things. You got rid of that fucking chud, Jason Garrett. But we'll see.
Our offensive line is not tight, bro. Like, our offensive line is not tight right now. Like, now, if they go out, I got to see what McCarthy's going to do. If he decides to run the ball on Sunday night, we might could do something. But I think that they got all these new receivers. They spent all this money on the offense. They about to go out there and try to air that bitch out. And they about to get their heart broke. That's what I think about that.
Pure Jason.
So
they're going to just stick with Jason Garrett philosophy and just go ball heavy in the air all day? Mike McCarthy did.
Mike McCarthy never ran the ball.
He did.
No, he didn't. Mike McCarthy used to throw the rock all the time.
But he had Aaron
Rodgers used to throw the ball. Aaron Rodgers throw the ball like 40 times a game, bro. If they throw the ball more than 25 times on Sunday, we're gonna get our ass smoked.
But dude, you got Zeke. I don't get why people don't see that this guy's a beast like that. I would just run him until they couldn't stop him.
I don't think it's just him, bro. I think the offensive line is shitty now, and they're not blocking the same. That's my theory on that. And when you got Aaron Donald up the middle, I think it's not. I'm predicting big L. That's all I'm saying.
L. So you're saying like in terms of a score, you guys are gonna lose by a lot?
It's gonna be like we're gonna give up a lot. It's gonna be like 31-27, dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going 21-17. You guys. That's what I'm saying.
I'd love to see that. That means our defense actually kind of bulked out, but we'll see, bro.
There we go. So
I saw Hard Knocks. Rams look kind of good to me. That's all.
Yeah, but that's all. You can make anybody look good. They had the Browns on there, and everybody thought they were going to be good the year, and they fucking.
So who the Steelers playing?
The Steelers are playing
on
the Giants, so we're going to help you guys out in division. So
y'all about to whoop their ass, bro.
And so for me, Big Ben's back. We don't got a second-string quarterback in. I'm excited. I hope he's back. He looks like he's back, but I've only seen videos, so who knows. We got a lot of new weapons on offense. We got Eric Ebron on tight end. He's okay, but he might have
he's all right. He's all right.
We still, we got James Conner. We got a good set of running backs in the running back.
Y'all defense gonna be hard this season, bro. That's what I'm predicting.
I think
y'all defense about to be hard.
Our first round pick this year was Minka Fitzpatrick last year because that's what we gave up to get him. So I'll take that. I'll take all of that. To me, y'all defense, because that's always been the Steelers' problem. Y'all ain't never had no secondary, bro. And now that the secondary getting kind of locked down, I think with them linebackers y'all got, with Bud Dupree and all that shit, it's about to be a problem up in there. TJ Watt.
Steelers, bro. I'm saying, dog, it's about to be some shit going on.
I'm a skeptical
Giants,
dude.
Giants ain't about to win, though. That's all I'm saying.
I just know
Giants ain't putting
up
no points.
To play down the competition. They're not very good at the beginning of the year usually, but I feel like we got enough just to put the Giants. Like Daniel Jones isn't that good. Saquon
Danny Dimes, bro.
He's all right, but like Saquon Barkley's good, but he ain't gonna get.
That's what I'm saying.
He ain't gonna get any.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all about to eat on Monday, bro. I feel like the Giants about to get their heart broke, bro.
I'm saying 28.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I watching football on the low, bro. Like, I be watching 28-7. Damn, I don't even shit. I was thinking like 10. Like, the Giants gonna get like 10. Y'all gonna wind up with like 28. Yeah, 28-10.
28-7. We're giving that basically same score. So
yeah, I can fuck with that.
Win. You knock on wood. I'm a superstitious person, but I don't. Okay, so that's week 1. We got our picks in. You don't think the Cowboys are going to win. I do, and I think the Steelers, we both think they're going to win. But now, just to end the podcast and begin our NFL prognostication careers, what do you think your final record as the Cowboys' final record will be?
Oh, God. Well, I was looking at First Take. I mean,
evidence.
Undisputed today.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. I heard Undisputed today, and Skip Bayless is a Cowboy fan on there. And this crackhead talking about he think they're going to be 6-1 in their first 7 games. I'm like, you high as fuck, bro. Because we played the Rams, we played the Falcons, and then we played like somebody else after that that's pretty good too. I forgot. Oh, Seattle. We ain't coming out of there undefeated, bro. We ain't coming out of them 3 games undefeated. Ain't no way. I think all those are – I think we go to the Rams and the other 2 are at home. Because I think we play the Falcons at home. We play Seattle at home. But Dallas. And mad teams have beat us in Dallas. So, whatever. But maybe I'm hating on my team too much. But if I was going to say for the season, Cowboys might slip in there at 9-7, dog. If they lucky, they'll get 10-6. But they might get the last playoff spot at 9-7. That's what I'm predicting. I'm not seeing much improvement off Jason Garrett, bro. 9-7 is a good Jason Garrett year. That's what you got to understand. That's a good Cowboy year. Like, you got to realize where our bar is set.
I think that you are, as a Cowboys fan, sort of butthurt over the past and not giving your team enough
I'm
credit.
a realist.
So, I agree with you. I am too for my team. But for your team, I'm going to be just be a little bit more positive. I think Mike McCarthy, Dak, Zeke, they're going to get you to 11-5. You guys will get into the playoffs. You're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. You're going to get in.
11-5?
11-5, bro.
Oh
that's my I gave you
that's statistic.
Hey,
that would be amazing.
What did I do last year for as far as guessing your record and what happened afterwards? 100%. I guessed the record exactly and that Jason Garrett was going to get fired the days before the
Well,
season started. So I think I got
bro.
that super glow when it comes to this shit. But
Hey, man, it's not hard to predict Jason Garrett shit. Steelers
yeah,
gonna wind up. See, like y'all. See, the problem with y'all is that y'all got to deal with the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know how much of a factor Lamar Jackson is going to be because he keeps getting better, bro. And like, I don't see him taking those steps back. Because even if you watched that game last night, Deshaun Watson did not lose that game for them. They lost that game because their kicker came out there and did some bullshit and missed an easy ass field goal that fucked the game up for them. Because had he made that field goal, they would have gave that field position and flipped the field on them.
And
you know
some
what I'm
of
saying?
their wide receivers weren't making plays either. He had some people that weren't doing what they needed.
Oh yeah.
To do, so I respect
they
that
missed
dude
Deshaun Hopkins. Yeah, they missed DeAndre Hopkins a lot, bro. Because like that guy can go up and get the ball when he ain't really supposed to. So me for the Steelers, I can see y'all being a wild card team. Once again, I'm thinking more like it depends on what the AFC looking like. But if y'all stick in the wild card, you might need to be 10-6 to get in the wild card in the AFC.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like that's the thing that's kind of scary about it. Yeah, so I might put y'all at 10-6, but I think y'all could be a wild card team though. But if y'all defense come out there and really start putting some licks on some cats. And y'all got an easier schedule because y'all had a shitty kind of year last year. It's possible y'all could be 11-5 too. I ain't gonna give y'all 12.
I don't think we're gonna.
Like I said,
we're
y'all
definitely
gotta
not
deal with
getting to 12. Yeah, we're gonna lose 2 to the Ravens. We might drop 1 to the Browns just because we're not gonna give them any credit. So I'm thinking, just out of pure heart and love for my team, 10-6. But I could definitely. That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, I could definitely see them being 7-9. I could see that, like my hope being shattered when something like if Ben goes out, we're fucked. Like it's over with. There's no.
Yeah, y'all ain't got no contingency plan there. Yeah.
So we'll see. But just right now, as I see it,
I'm putting it on the defense.
I mean, we did last year, but I think we have more weapons that could be used, and I think. If it got to it, but hopefully Ben's durable, knock on wood, he can make it. He comes back to being his old self and like throws 6,000 yards this year, just starts slinging it to Juju all day. So I'm going to say 10-6, hopeful at the beginning of the season and that we get into the playoffs, but we only make it, if we're a wild card team, we make it past the wild card round, but that's it. That's as deep as we're going to go. So 10-6 with a little bit of playoff fun, but that's it. That's my
that's where you need faith.
Prediction. We're going to revisit this at the middle of the season and see where we're at.
All right, cool. We go ahead and end this episode. That was great, man. I had a good time talking with you, man. I missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed you too, bro. And we're going to get Sean on again so we can all talk because he filled in great. We love you, Sean.
Yeah, he did a good job, man.
We have some good stories to share about all of us working and living out here that we didn't get to because Aaron wasn't involved. So we'll get to that. But definitely love talking to you again, bud. Thanks for listening, everybody. Week, what was it, 22?
Something like, yeah, you're right.
All right, well, thanks for listening.
22.
Week 22, we have.
Peace.